Hey everybody. So what I'm going to do today is essentially re-explain the two assignments that we've done in technology this rotation. But instead of explaining them as if you have an iPad, I'm going to explain them as if you have a Chromebook, which you now have. So the first assignment, if you remember, was called inserting photos and captions in Google Slides. And if you remember, I had a video on how to do all this with an iPad, and I had given you instructions on what needed to be done. So I'm not going to go over all that again, but I just wanted to point out to you, here is the list of things that needed to be done. Okay. And this time what I'm going to do is perform this as if it were a Chromebook. Okay. So one thing I want to do real quick is actually just remove some of this stuff as if we were starting fresh. Okay. So if you open the Chromebook, if you open your Google Slides on your Chromebook, then you are going to see pretty much a very similar screen. Now you'll probably see more. In fact, all of these menu items up here, there's a lot more that you could see on a Chromebook than you can on an iPad, which once you get rolling and understanding how to use your Chromebook, you're going to be so much faster and more efficient. Okay. So I'll just give you a simple example. So you remember the iPad, we sort of had a double tap and make sure it's selected, and sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. With a Chromebook, you can do a few things. You can either click at the end and then hit the backspace key, okay? Or you can double click and it will automatically select, well, that usually there's a space. It'll automatically select a bunch of characters separated by a space, or in other words, it'll select a word. So if I double click here, it'll select my, double click here, favorite, and here the underline, okay? And then I can hit delete, or I can take and click and slide and select. So for me, my shortcut is I just double click on the one word. Oh, and by the way, if you triple click, it'll do the whole sentence. Okay. So double click, and now I can say my favorite animal. A slideshow about, I just double clicked, dogs. Okay. Then it says replace Peter Parker with your name. So I'm going to triple click here. Sometimes it can be tricky. Or sometimes it's easier just to click and slide it across like this and hit backspace. Okay. So now here I'm going to replace Peter Parker with John Smith. Okay. First slide done. My favorite animal is the dog. Here's my first photo of a Labrador. So here it says replace this photo and put a title of your photo here, and you could delete these words between the parentheses. So let me work on the photo first. So the first thing I'm going to do is actually remove this photo. So you can see, just like the iPad, you get these boxes, and if you hover over them, you'll see what the mouse will do. When you see the four corner arrows, that means you can move it. Okay. If you see just like double arrows, that means you can make it bigger or small in that direction. And notice those red vertical and horizontal lines are still showing up to tell you if you're in the center of the page. That's all the same. But for now, I'm just going to delete this. Now, I will show you a couple of ways that you can add photos. The first way is going to be very similar to how I showed you with the iPad. And I'm just going to go to a Google, and then I'm going to type in Labrador Retriever. I'm going to click on the images, and then I will just, this time, click on the picture I want, right click, and for the Chromebook that is 2-finger click, and I'm going to say copy image. I'm going to go back to my Google Slides. I'm going to right click or 2-finger click in my Google Slides, and I hit paste. Now you're going to get this message: copying and pasting in Google Docs. These actions are unavailable during the edit menus, but you can still use Control-C, Control-X, Control-V. It says Control-C for copy, Control-X for cut, Control-V for paste. And Control is that key that says CTRL in the lower left corner of your Chromebook. So you hold that down as a shift, and then you hit C if you want to copy. Hold that down with X to cut, and hold that down and V to paste. So let's practice that right now. So I'm here, I'm hitting my Control, and now my V, and there's my picture. Now obviously it's way too big, so the first thing I'm going to do is go to one of the corners here and select it and shrink it to about that size. Okay, and it doesn't have to be an exact size. You just don't want it to take up your entire slide, because we have some words here. So then it says replace this photo and put a title here. So I'm just going to basically, I already replaced the photo, and I'm going to put a title. I'm going to say adult Labrador. And then again, if I want to resize the box, I grab those. Those are called handles, by the way, these blue squares. I grab the handles, I move it, and you see the vertical line there? That tells me I'm right in the middle of the page. And that's it. That's basically how you put pictures. Now I'm going to show you another way you can do it, which is kind of cool. It says, here's my second photo of, and I'll just fill that in here and say a lab. I'm going to delete this. And the second way is, if you look in the lower right corner, this is a big thing that the iPad didn't have. It's called the Explore function. And if I go to the Explore function and click on it, and I want to search for Labrador Retriever, what's going to happen is all these web results are going to come up, okay? And what I want to be able to do is show some photos. And when I clicked on it, you see web images in Drive. So if I go to images, I could just simply click and drag, and look at that. It's going to pop up right there. I didn't have to do that copy and paste or Control-C and Control-V. So that is a nice, handy, convenient way to get pictures in your presentation. Okay? So again, I'm going to call this another adult lab. Grab my handles and turn it, move it right in the middle, and here we go. Okay, so now I'm going to quickly switch over to my Peter Parker video link, the number 3, right? My favorite video links Google Slides project. So this was the project we've been doing most recently, and most of the stuff is the same. So if I go here and just call it my favorite animal, it says a video slideshow about dogs. And then, I do my changes to John Smith. Oops, spelled John wrong. And then I'm going to delete this. And now I'm going to say, my favorite animal is the lab. Maybe this time I'll do puppies or something. Okay. So again, I'm going to remove this, select it, delete. This time I could go to Insert Video, and what I can do is automatically search YouTube here. So if I want to say puppy lab, and I find this video here, I just say select. And look at that. The video is right there. It's not even a link anymore. In fact, we don't even need to call this video links. We'll just say videos about my favorite animal. So now what I can do is just say, check out this video of some puppy labs, exclamation point. And I can move this over. And when I go to my presentation mode, which I go back to my beginning, I see present, I hit play. Okay, now I can hit the down arrow. And then the Puppy Labs plays. Okay. So that is, I could probably also play it from here. I might have to do something special. There it goes. But now you can see that there is all kinds of ways of doing inserting pictures and photos. And we can get into more advanced things. But for now, I don't want to overwhelm you too much. I just want you to make sure that you can do everything you were doing on the iPad. I want you to be able to do it on a Chromebook. Let's go through our checklist. Choose a theme. Okay, so theme, if you remember, was with the 3 dots in the upper right corner. Well, here, if you look at the top, here is theme. So if I say change theme and I wanted to give it, this theme here, I just click on it and it changes the theme. Okay. Center my photos. I showed you how to do that with the red lines. Centering your caption. I showed you how to do that with moving the box. Okay. Choose one word to make the link text. Well, we don't have to do that anymore because we're not doing link text anymore. We're actually putting the video itself right there on. And then add a final slide or the end slide. And then to do that, I basically go down here. I could say insert and then new slide. There it is. And then I just say something like, the end, exclamation point. Now for something like the end, you may want to center this, and it works just like the photos, grabbing the handle. There's all sorts of different ways you can do it. And then if you want, you can delete a slide. So where it says I'm on slide number 8, I could go to slide and delete slide, or I can even just hit the delete key. If I ever want to make a copy of a slide, I say duplicate slide. So I'm teaching you the basics, but you're really going to learn Google Slides by going off and exploring and being like, oh, what's insert do? What does slide do? What does arrange do? So I'm just giving you the basics, and hopefully you'll find time to explore and learn. Then don't forget, when you're all done, like I just did a little bit ago, you can go ahead, and I could see this theme really kind of made it crazy. Like it made my text really small. So I probably want to change my theme, maybe change it to just a simple black and white. At least I can see my text here a little bit better. But you could experiment. But when you're ready, you click on present, and then you go through your slide, and you'd be ready to present to the class if you did, a slideshow, if we have time. So that is it for now. I hope you guys are enjoying your Chromebooks, and I hope that you all find the tools and skills I teach you very useful. Goodbye now.